Thank you for joining us for our 10th episode of the Spooky Stonerzzz podcast, which I am surprised that you have gotten this far.
That's a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we have gotten this far.
I know. I truly thought we would do like 3 episodes and then like lose interest and be like, okay.
No.
Because we're also smoking like a shitload of weed while doing this.
I think it helps too that we get to like hang out and smoke weed. And we can be like, it's for the podcast. To anyone who asks.
It's our scheduled date.
Yeah, it's our scheduled friend time.
Especially since like, I don't think we've spent any time together the last 2 weeks.
Other than this.
Yeah.
It's been crazy.
Like we haven't even Skyped at work.
It's been a crazy couple weeks, dude.
Skype.
I feel like last week was really bad. I had a nightmare. Oh, it was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
That fucked me up for the whole day.
But anyway.
Anyhoozle.
I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Denah.
As we're just continuing to blab on.
La-di-da-di-da.
We're like, ah. Anyway. And in case you decided to listen to this podcast at episode 10, that, by the way, what are you doing? Go back. You have to ride the whole roller coaster with us. But I will catch you up. On this podcast, we talk about witchy and spooky shit that we all love and talk about. And hopefully you love to listen to. So, in short, we talk about crystal spells, true crime, ghosts, and much, much more.
Dun-dun-dun.
And as the title of our podcast indicates, we do all this while smoking a little weed or a lot of weed or, whatever. And it just, adds an extra level of entertainment for everyone.
Yeah.
So, what did we smoke today? I had like half a chocolate on the way here.
We just had some keef out of my grinder. Pro tip, coffee grinder. Electric coffee grinder. That's what I use, and it collects all the keef, and it's really easy to clean out and get all the keef out and smoke it.
But don't do too much, because I did that, and then I actually ended up with keef.
I have had quite a few people fall out, too, after having keef, so sit down.
I am sitting.
Yeah, I know. But like, when you're trying the keef, if you haven't tried keef already, sit down.
Though I am sitting on a stool.
Yeah, don't fall.
So, that might happen. That'd be hilarious.
You're too far away for me to catch you.
I'm prophesying my...
that would not be hilarious. That would be terrible.
No,
I would not like that.
We'd be cracking up.
I mean, I would laugh, but it would also be bad.
Yeah. You'd be like, are you okay? And I'd be like, yeah. And then we'd just start cracking up. Yep. And then that would be the title of our episode.
Off the stool.
Yep. So have you been following the whistleblower, David Grusch?
I am so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed for the human race.
Why?
Because the aliens have been here this whole time, and we've been making these silly movies about them. Probably not even what they look like. They're probably like, okay, rude. And I'm just like, it's like you're talking shit about someone and they walk up right behind you.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I feel as a human. It's like, oh my god!
Well, I don't think they ever said that anything was alive. They just said non-human.
Yeah, like they might not have watched our movies, probably.
Yeah.
So we need to hide them.
So I was asking Philip about it. I was like, why would it be non-human biologics? Like, why would they...
fairies.
What?
I think it's fairies.
You think it's fairies?
Yeah, they're non-human.
Yeah, exactly.
Biologics.
Oh my gosh, it's a cryptid. It's a
Cattywampus.
Yeah, Cattywampus. It's the Cattywampus.
That would be
It
sick.
came from
Bigfoot's just chilling like, I know.
Hello.
They're talking about me. Duh. My mom tried to be all like smart. And she was like, come on. In this day and age with all these smartphones and stuff, you think we can't? Nobody's taking a picture of one?
A Bigfoot?
Of an alien. Of one of these aliens.
Ton of people have.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, lots of people have taken pictures of aliens. What?
Like, even the Air Force has pictures of them. That's part of like that release.
What of the... yeah, I think my mom's just a goober.
Yeah.
That's possible.
Yeah.
It's probable, as a matter of fact. She's a goober.
Because, yeah.
Plus also, I think
there's whole fucking shows with, like, evidence of it.
And plus also, I think that maybe if they got this super advanced technology, surely they can just wipe our cell phones. I mean, cell phones just die all the time.
Yeah, definitely if they can, like, abduct us and make us forget our memory. Like,
yeah.
They should be able to handle our...
Yeah, they have no problem with your cell phone. Yeah. They just deleted that picture.
Unless they can't get your fingerprint to, like, scan right, and so they can't get into your computer, in your phone.
And it's fairies. If it's really fairies, I mean, you told them your name, probably, because you were like, hey, I'm so-and-so, what's up? And they were like, haha, now you're mine. Because if you tell them your name, you're fucked.
Oh, I did not know that.
Not really, but kind of.
Oh, okay.
And it really depends on the fairy. Well, I guess we could ask the U.S. government. Also, more on that subject, what about the other governments?
In other countries?
Yeah.
They're keeping it mum.
Like,
I mean,
they don't know nothing about this? They don't have anything to say about it? That's my thing. Like, if I was one of the other countries and we had all kind of agreed to keep this on the down low, and then all of a sudden the United States was like, BT dubs, aliens are 100% real, I'd be like, shh, shh, shh. Yeah, I'm very intrigued by this whole thing, and I want all of the information. And I'm really mad that they are like, they're like, well, some of it's classified. I'm like, yeah, it was. Let us know. You can't give us half the story. That's so rude.
but it's also from like 1930.
Right. That's another thing.
That was crazy.
They've been here this whole time. We've been making these silly movies about them.
I don't think we have an actual live alien.
You could be an alien.
I mean, I could. You've seen the Marvel series right now on Disney Plus, like Secret Invasion. Yeah, that's it. Secret Invasion.
See? That's what I'm saying. It's like a soft invasion. Which also I'm fine with. Because, I mean, the current government's not doing a great job. So,
I know.
an alien government can't do much worse. What are they going to do? Kill us all? Gee darn.
You're going to be that one girl in, like, Independence Day. Like, the Will Smith's girlfriend's friend that went to, like, the top of the building and was, like, partying and was super excited about the aliens. And then the aliens opened up the little laser beam thing. And she's like, it's so beautiful.
And then they kill her.
Yeah, and then everyone dies.
Yeah. See, I'm okay
That's
with
you.
that. I'm okay with that. What a way to go. That I have an interesting story.
You would definitely... Yeah, there was a whole movie about you.
Yeah. Exactly. And the aliens.
Yeah.
Which I would also, again, be super embarrassed by. Poor Will Smith. He must be just red as a beet.
Ooh.
Can you imagine being in all those alien movies? And then they're like, by the way, aliens are real. And they're going to be like, we're looking for Will Smith. He's in charge here.
I need to check his social media.
Oh, yes, we do.
See what he's saying about all this stuff.
Poor Will Smith. That's why he slapped Chris Rock. He's all agitated because the aliens are all up on his business. Aw. I feel bad for him. He's had a tough year, man.
Yeah, but,
He's had a tough year.
part of that is his own fault, too.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%.
I mean...
Yeah. I mean, I don't slap anybody, and I'm not doing great.
Yeah. Actually, the girls, they're having trouble because their stepbrother? Yeah, stepbrother, that's what it would be. I was like, brother? No. Words. Anyway. Their stepbrother, like, was, like, throwing things at them because, like, he was mad.
Yeah,
and I told him, I was like, that's not okay, y'all.
Yeah, that's not how we handle that.
And so I told them to talk to their dad, because I'm staying on my side of the road. I was like, but you need to talk to him. Because the thing is, if Philip threw anything at me, I'd be like, peace out, dude.
Yeah.
We don't play bad.
Oh, yeah,
like,
Will Smith's not handling his anger well.
Yeah, you have to handle your anger well. I mean, I don't always.
I mean,
I'm not perfect. But
Chris Rock does have a really obnoxious voice as well.
Yeah.
And especially, like, there's those people who, like, they hear certain sounds and it makes them lose it. Like, they Hulk out. Like, Kelly Ripa. She can't eat in the same room as her husband.
Oh, God.
Because, like,
he eats
his chewing bothers her. And she, like, can't stand it. Like, it's like an OCD thing.
Yeah.
So, maybe he's done that, too, with Chris Rock's voice. I understand that.
I don't know. I don't think it was
I don't think he should hit anyone.
I don't think Chris Rock should have done that joke. But at the same time, I don't think Will Smith should have slapped him.
I bet the aliens were like, Will, we shouldn't do that.
What should have probably happened
was
when the camera, like, panned out to Will Smith, just, like, shake your hand and be like, that ain't funny. And you want to know something? Everyone would probably shut up and they'd be like, you know that ain't funny.
It's not.
It's not.
Anyway. We've gotten very off topic here.
Aliens, okay. Will Smith. It's all the same.
It's an obvious train of thought. We've just really left the station.
Yeah? Well,
it was the wrong train.
Oh, we got on the wrong train.
We were supposed to be on a different train.
We are not on Hogwarts
Now
Express.
We gotta get back to the station and take a new train.
Got it.
But right now we're in this... That Keith got me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna talk about tarot.
Okay.
Now that I'm good and happy. So, there's tarot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like oracle cards and angel cards and what's the other little...
You have crystal cards.
Yeah, I do have crystal cards. There's all sorts of really cool cards nowadays for witchy shit. And they're like really cool. I've got like 6 or 7 different decks of stuff. But I want to focus today on tarot.
Okay.
Because that's like the OG, I think. Because it's from like the 14th century.
Mm-hmm.
Renaissance Italy is where it started. And there is some debate about who should or should not buy tarot cards and things like that. Like, because they were originally used by the Romani people, who a lot of people now, well, not now, but then knew as gypsies.
Okay.
And there was a lot of drama there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gypsies were not well cared for by society at the time.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like...
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. We've all seen it. I was Esmeralda for Halloween one year.
Yeah.
I think it's a great movie. It's a delight. That guy is creepy. I watched that as an adult.
I know.
The priest man? Count Frodo.
Yes.
Yes, the priest. That song that he sings
Oh yeah.
is like with the fireplace and he's like calling fire out of it. This is...
And he's talking
That
about
just
like...
goes back to the Catholics being like, witches are bad, and then doing witchcraft every single night.
Me and Wendy, we were watching Phantom of the Opera, and I remember as like a kid, I was like, "Oh, that's really cool. It's like a love triangle. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like the Phantom's kind of hot." And then I watched it, and I was like, "He groomed her.
Yeah,
like
no.
holy
It's
shit.
a whole problem. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to watch things as an adult.
It loses its romantic.
It does, but it's also kind of like hilarious. Because I just think of like my mom and my grandmother watching these movies with me and not saying anything to me, and I don't say anything to my kid either when I'm watching them. But like, they must have just been sitting there when these were brand new, horrified. Like, oh my gosh. Because they hadn't seen them before or heard of them before.
Yeah.
Like the 90s Disney movies, some of them were really odd.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Winnie the Pooh movie. The Heffalumps and Woozles.
Oh yeah.
Like, what were they on?
What about Dumbo?
Dumbo? Oh my gosh. That's older though.
Yeah.
I'm not as old as Dumbo.
Well, I mean, there's like a whole scene where he
It's
is
literally
supposedly
like
drunk, but he definitely
yeah.
looks like he's tripping on acid.
Oh yeah, I love it when they do where they do the eyeballs, all different colors, like a target.
Yeah.
Or like I don't know, what are those optical illusion, like hypnotism things? You know what I'm talking about. Whatever.
I have no idea.
But when they make the eyeballs flash all different colors, and it's like, okay, it's taking effect now. That's what I always think.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it just hit me.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to tarot.
Okay.
Because we've once again taken the wrong train.
So I've actually heard
What did you hear?
that tarot cards used to be a game. Like, kind of like how the Ouija board used to be a game before it kind of got tied into the occult.
I have heard that, but I don't know anything about the game.
Yeah.
So I have no clue. I haven't read that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I have not backed that up from a source that I trust.
Oh, I heard it on Rituals by the girls who do And That's Why We Drink. Em and Christine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
That they have, like, for the rituals, they have, like, researchers and stuff that actually give them their information.
Huh.
I don't know if I'd like that. I love looking at my information. But I like deep diving.
But I have heard that
Yeah.
it was a game from other people. I just haven't, like, researched that.
But I think
myself.
your story is going more farther back. Because I think mine was, like, Victorian era.
Oh, yeah. No, they started around, like, 14th century.
Okay.
Was when tarot came about. They didn't really get like popular as a fortune telling device until the 15th century, but I don't know if that's because it was a game before or just because it was just spreading.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if it was just got started in the 14th century and took a while to catch on.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know that like a lot of people will say you can't buy your own deck.
I did.
Of tarot cards. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I didn't realize that was not what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, no. I've heard of that a lot, and it feels a lot like gatekeeping to me because that's the silliest thing I've ever heard. You can absolutely buy your own deck and bless them yourself and do whatever one you like. Mm-hmm. Because they make a bajillion different kinds now. So the ones that I have are all based on the Rider-Waite which is like the kind of came out in the 70s, and it's kind of like the standard deck.
Yeah.
So it's got like the regular cards that like you see on movies and TV.
The king, queen, jack,
right,
devil.
Yeah. All the major arcana, which there are 22 of those, and then the minor arcana, which there are 56 of those.
Okay.
Minor arcana, there's 4 suits. That's the wands, the cups, the swords, and the pentacles. Now, so when you get other decks, they'll assign the suits as something else sometimes. Like my sister, I got her a labyrinth-themed tarot deck.
Okay.
Because she loves the labyrinth, and it's super cute. But instead of wands, cups, swords, and pentacles, it had like junk, bracelets, staff, and it's like instead of it just renamed the suits.
But same
same kind of meanings and ideas. And there are so many different decks, and the artwork on them is becoming really awesome to watch.
Yeah.
Like people will be like, I'm designing a deck, and it's like that's so cool because I don't know, I'm cool. I'm thinking of a better adjective here. I'm excited about that. I like that.
Got it.
I don't use any of the new decks ever because I know the wands, the cups, the swords, and the pentacles, and the new decks confuse me. Yeah. But I love to see them.
The artwork and all that stuff.
They're so beautiful. I usually, whenever I end up with one, because I get new tarot decks sometimes in my subscription boxes, I usually give them to someone else because I can't ever use them.
Yeah.
Because I just don't connect with them. Because since I was a wee child,
a wee lad,
I have used literally this exact deck right here, which was my grandmother's. And so it's a Rider-Waite from the 70s. So that's all I know.
Yeah. And not only that, but it has like your Gma's juju on it.
Yeah,
too.
I have another one that is actually based off of the artwork, I think, of Salvador Dali that she got.
Mm-hmm.
But it's based off of that artwork, but with the same suit. And the same pictures, just in Dali's style.
Got it.
So that one I can use as well.
Like Dali as in like...
The artist.
The artist.
The melting clocks.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just like, I thought you were saying like Dali as
there
in
are
like
melting
those creepy
clocks.
dolls.
And the pentacles melt in this one.
It's
pretty cool. But she was so freaking morbid, dude. She labeled all of her crap. And on that tarot deck, she left it to me and she said, only use this for yourself for really important questions. I got this on a trip with my mother in 1972 or something like that. And I'm like, you're so ridiculous. Because she didn't tell us about any of these little freaking notes.
Yeah.
We just found them when we were going through her house.
But at the same time, that's sweet. You have like
it is
that
sweet,
note
and it's helpful because I know, but I'm just like, you're such a dork. She cracked me up. Because I know also, though, that she did that about 30 years before she died.
Yeah.
That's what's more funny. I was probably 2 years old when she wrote that note.
She knew.
Yeah. She knew that one day she was going to die. And it's like, right, so does everyone else. You're not special. So, I thought it would be fun to do like a little free card reading. I use this tarot guidebook when I'm reading, just because I like to what they think the card means, and then I like to see what I think the card means.
Yeah.
Or the other way around.
Yeah, you see what you think it means, and then...
Yeah, and kind of go to it. And just because, like... Hold on, let me find that page again, because it was actually really useful. It mentioned how each of the suits work. So, like, the wand is connected to fire, and wands usually connects us to, like, our drive and enthusiasm. Think of, like, a walking stick.
Okay.
They can also be called rods.
Yeah.
I've heard them called rods a lot. In the Rider-Waite deck, because it was made in the 70s, and everything was about penises all the time, they look like giant penises. So, I always call them the dicks.
Yeah.
But that's fine. You don't have to do that. It's fine. Cups are connected to water, obvi. Water concerns our emotional life. So, like, my cup runneth over.
Yeah.
Like,
or I'm pouring from a half
empty cup. Yeah. So, if you got a lot of cups, then you're going to be, like, doing good. Especially if they're up. If they're upside down, that's not great. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm. I was like, I have an option.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
No, you don't, really. The swords are connected to air, and air is associated with thoughts and communication. So, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
and how you say it.
I thought you were like literally asking me what I was thinking right then. I was
No.
like, I'm rubbing my eyes because my contacts are bothering me. That's what's going on here.
And then tentacles are connected to Earth. This element is grounded and concerns our material life. So that's usually like financial stuff, the tentacles.
Yeah,
So I thought,
that's the card that always gets pulled when we do it because I'm always worried about money.
yeah, I know. So here,
You love this.
I've got the tarot deck right here. I want you to shuffle it. We're just going to do a little 3-card pull real quick.
Yeah.
Just a quickie. So fun. We'll be so excited. She's shuffling.
You could probably hear it.
Just wisely. Mess this up. Nothing will happen.
Yeah.
Alright, now pick 3 cards out of there. From anywhere in the deck. Are they facing me or are they facing you? Facing them to me?
Oh, yes, because you're reading them.
Alright, flip them.
Why are you making me do so much work here?
Because I can't touch them now. Oh, look at you!
Oh.
Okay, so you got the Queen of Swords, who's just doing fantastic. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of Swords, which is you're crying in bed. And then the Ace of Wands.
So a lot of air things.
Gonna move.
Yeah. Shocker.
Oh my gosh, are you so surprised?
No, I'm not.
It's about your life. So let's see.
Well, that's why you pull tarot cards.
Yeah, so a 3-card spread you can do is like past, present, or future, but I always think that they just kind of like show what's going on today.
Okay.
Let's see. Queen of Swords. Let's see what the book says here. Honest, opinionated, knowledgeable, and independent thinker. Are you comfortable being honest with others?
Sometimes.
I want to start you with yourself.
I'm always telling myself that I'm fine when I'm not, because, that's life.
Yeah, so that's just you. The Queen of Swords there, I think, represents you. Honest, opinionated, knowledgeable, and independent thinker. You got shit going on.
I do.
You're a boss bitch.
Always.
Yes. And you got your sword in your hand, and you're like, come at me, and I will fucking cut your head off. How about that?
Cool.
But also you cry in bed. Worry, anxiety, fear, nightmare, sleepless nights is the 9 of Swords.
Yep.
Which is
lots of anxiety.
Facts. And then the Ace of Wands, we learned just a moment ago. The wands were associated with movement. Look at that giant penis.
Yeah.
We need to post a picture of that one.
Okay.
Exciting new beginnings. Drive, inspiration, sexual urges.
Okay.
Because it's a giant dick.
Got it. So, I'm a boss bitch, but I'm crying because it's hard, but great things are happening.
Yeah, you're about to move, and it's going to be fine.
that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, this is, it's so funny to me when tarot, because, tarot, I feel like, does not necessarily predict the future, so much as it just, tell you how you really feel.
Yeah.
What's really going on with me. I need to do this for myself more. But, that's what it is. It's just remember you're a boss bitch, and yeah, you're gonna cry at night sometimes, and that's fine. But you're gonna move, and it'll be alright.
Yeah. It's temporary.
Yeah. It's all good.
But yeah, I always use tarot cards as kind of like a journal of okay, I'm gonna pull cards, and I'm gonna figure out what they are telling me.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm just because the thing is, there's been times I've pulled cards, and I'm just that's totally not fucking right.
Mm-mm.
And then I have to call Dina, and then I'm like, what's it saying? And she's like, oh, it's so right. You just don't want to admit it.
See, I've always kind of felt like tarot and reading tarot for, another person is less about necessarily trying to predict their future and more about trying to get them to open up, not just to you, but to themselves about what's really going on with them right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And how they really feel. Because, you'll pull a page or, a knight. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like a man or a king. And it looks like a man. And somebody always pops into someone else's head.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I bet that's that. And it's well, then that's how you feel about that person. And have you been honest with yourself about how you feel about that person?
Yeah.
For whatever that may be. You know what I mean? The King of Cups bringing you a cup. He might be a good guy.
Yeah, true.
You could let him know that he's a good guy. Now, the King of Pentacles upside down. We don't want no scrubs. A scrubs is a guy that can't get no love from me.
Yeah.
Okay?
So now we know what that means.
Yeah.
Run.
Yeah.
Run, Forrest, run!
Alright, I'm ready to hear about what you are talking about.
Okay. Dina has her head, laying on the table as if, it's nap time. When you just, have, your head down.
It's
during,
story
quiet
time.
It's story time.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. So this is part 2. In part 1, this is part 2 of an episode of our last episode. I did not use my words well in this Word document. Anyway, in part 1, we talked about Governor Hayden Burns, who, along with 14 other people, saw a UFO while flying out of the Orlando airport. By the way, this episode is about UFO experiences by politicians.
It's so funny that you picked this right before all this happened.
Right?
Like, what? That's so bonkers.
Yeah, I mean...
It's like the aliens were like, Lindsey, I think they're here. I think they're controlling everything.
Yeah, okay, they're being controlled. They're controlling me.
I kind of don't hope that, though. Because then they've already fucked everything up. They're not going to help us. We need help.
They've been here since 1930. Obviously, they fucking suck. That's what I'm hearing. Anyway, this sighting by Governor Hayden Burns happened in 1966. Skeptics were saying the governor was just seeing a meteorite. However, the meteorite that they're talking about landed in Long Island Sound, which is quite a ways away from Florida. So I feel like this could have been a legit UFO. Though I have learned today it's a UAF or what?
UAP?
Yeah, UAP. It's now called a UAP.
What does that stand for?
Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Phenomenon. What?
Yeah.
Phenomenon.
I think they're just kind of trying to make it like where it's not just a ship, like a physical thing. It could be like bright lights. Because, you know what I mean?
Interesting. I do know what you mean.
So,
because it's actually a rip in the space-time continuum and there's just other dimensions.
Yeah, there's a vortex.
So there's a dimension where it's not 110 degrees right now.
It's not 110.
It feels like it's 110.
It's fine. I might have like a fan like pulling right on me though.
You do.
Oh, okay. Do you want to move?
No.
Okay. Okay. So the second politician we talked about that saw a UFO was the not quite yet President Jimmy Carter. So this happened in 1969. So Jimmy wasn't even a governor yet. He saw a strange bright white object above the horizon outside Lions Club meeting in Larry, Georgia. And we debunked this UFO sighting since this could have been a barium cloud launch from Eglin Air Force Base in Florida. So, now you are caught up to part 2. And then, of course, if you want to, get all the information from those 2 sightings, you can just go back to episode 9. So, stop and go back to episode 9.
Well, wait. You know what I've wondered before? This is very off topic as well.
Okay.
People who have never watched Jeopardy, what song plays in their head when they're, like, waiting? So I feel like everyone's, like, it's like hold music in your brain. The Jeopardy song.
I don't know.
Is that just me?
It could just be elevator music. It could be...
What if they've never been on an elevator?
I'm pretty sure everyone's been on an elevator.
Not necessarily.
But like, they would probably be like, have like some random pop song on. It's like, turn around every time and then I get a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I feel like it's like one of those songs.
That sucks. I'd rather have Jeopardy stuck in my head.
Because also, everyone's heard hold music. Who has not been on hold on their fucking phone?
The
pygmies? Pygmy goats?
No, the pygmies in Australia.
Oh, I have no idea.
People living in the African bush? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's people who haven't been on hold.
Then they don't know music at all, and they just have like a drum beat in their head.
Oh, yeah.
Or a wind flute thing that they made out of wood.
Oh, yeah. True. A piccolo.
Piccolo, yeah. So on to the new stuff. As I was continuing to research for this part 2 episode, really tip-tap.
You said you would lay down for the whole episode, sir.
He's like, I cannot promise anything. I saw people getting up, and I decided to get up.
Hey. Corner. Hey. I'm trying to be quiet so that you don't get in trouble.
Alright, go.
Come on. Corner. Lay down. Alright.
Good boy. Okay, so as I was continuing to research for this part 2 episode, I came across an episode of Ancient Aliens. Aliens of the Present, that's the name. So Ancient Aliens, Aliens and the Presidents. This is season 15, episode 12. And I'm not really a big fan of this show because I feel like they go way too far into the conspiracy theories for my taste. But I was able to get a couple notes from the episode, so all good.
That's awesome. I've seen that show a few times. That's the one with the guy who goes like, aliens. It's amazing.
Yeah, with the crazy hair?
Yeah. Why? Also, why? Like, they totally set that guy up to be crazy. No one on the set was like, comb your hair, my guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. The producer wasn't like, no.
His name is Giorgio A. Tuscaloosis? Something. Tuscalos. Yeah. Because I was talking to him because, like, yeah, conspiracy, because every time you look up a meme for, like, aliens, it's that guy being like, aliens.
I bet he is thrilled right now. I bet he's like, yeah, what, bitches?
Yeah.
Y'all been making fun of me for years. Fuck off.
Well, I mean, still, I'm going to be, like, kind of
comb your hair.
poo-pooing on his
Still comb your hair.
things.
He still needs to comb his hair.
So, this was one that I did not know. George Washington.
What?
Yep. So, this happened at Valley Forge in Pennsylvania during the winter of 1777, which was during the Revolutionary War. Duh, Obby. Yeah. According to the story, the troops were not doing well. People were dying from disease. It was cold, and the troops didn't have enough food or clothes. So George Washington, being the godly man he was, went into a wooded area to pray and ask God for guidance. So one story said wooded area, one said his tent. But anyway, same kind of guideline idea.
He was alone.
He was alone. And as he was praying, he saw an image of a spirit. And the spirit told George Washington that he was going to win this war and laid out the history of America. Needless to say, this uplifted George Washington's spirits. And as we know, since we are still Americans here and not British, he won the war. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that we're not British.
I know. That's kind of one of those,
I mean, yeah. We'll see how Britain does in the next couple of years under
oh my gosh.
King Charles?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Ancient Aliens really leaned into the fact that this was an alien that George Washington saw, and that this alien, like, kind of led George Washington into winning the war, which I'm like, okay. These are the explanations that I have for this whole spirit.
Okay.
So I believe this could have been just a vision. I believe in visions. Tons of people have prophetic visions from God. And I don't think that's anything abnormal. I mean, even I sometimes have visions when I'm, like, meditating.
Mm-hmm. Could have been dysentery.
Dysentery? What's that word?
That's when they are literally shitting themselves during wartime because they're not eating and they're all cramped up in the trench.
Yeah, like he was ill?
Yeah.
It could have been. It could have been. It could have been. Actually, that's my second option, was he could have been hallucinating. If conditions were as bad as some people say, George Washington could have been undernourished. He was probably actually not getting any sleep because, hell, he was in the middle of a war.
They were eating their horses. I mean...
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't doing good.
I don't think during this part they were at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's also stories about, like, it wasn't really bad during this time.
Yeah.
Like, they built cabins and shit. Like, they're not really cold. But I don't know. There's multiple stories for the same history that is irritating as fuck. So, I believe that he could have either had a vision or hallucination. I don't really am not believing the whole alien part on that.
Although, now we know.
What?
Maybe the aliens are just like Trumpers.
Trumpers?
Like they're only pro-America and they only help America.
Maybe.
Maybe that's why they helped with the pyramids, because they were like, that's got to be on the dollar. We better make sure it gets built. I'm telling you.
It was on the dollar, so they had to make
it. It was all just to help George Washington
make the dollar bill.
That's hilarious. I think that's what happened.
The
aliens have been here all along.
Well, there's a lot of people who will agree with you on that.
Or what if they're just like from the future? And they've evolved past...
Like if they're humans, but they've...
Right, but they've evolved past being humans. Kind of like we're not homo...
We're not cavemen?
Yeah, we're not... What is the old one?
I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
Like we're their cavemen.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Yeah. That could be it. But also, why wouldn't you stop George Washington then? Look at America.
It was good for a
Although
while.
George Washington was like, hey, we should probably not do two political parties. That's going to be really divisive.
Yeah, I think he was the
That
one.
was like his final speech. And everyone was like, cool, 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 cool. And then literally the next election, everyone was like, two parties.
I remember in American history, I actually got that question wrong because they were just like, how many parties does America have? And I was like, 3? Because I was thinking like Republicans, Democrats, and Independents.
Yeah.
Or like the write-ins. I was like, they're a party.
Yeah. No, they're not recognized.
They're not recognized.
Nobody cares.
No one cares.
I hate it. I agree with George Washington 1 bajillion%. It's very stupid to have two political parties.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents on that.
I think it's like when you have like even number of people, you always have to have like that one person to be like the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
We just need a third party just to be the tiebreaker.
I think we need like an audit from Canada.
Oh god. Canada is like, no thank you.
Yeah, Canada would not do it. They'd be like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
But that's the only country I would trust.
Switzerland?
No, not even them.
Mm.
They're a little too haughty.
They are.
About it. Like, we're neutral. Like, okay. Don't be weird. Canada's just like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
About everything.
Yeah.
It's like, so they won't mess up because they'll have to apologize for it for like 10 days. Like the Canadian way.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Next one is Theodore Roosevelt.
Nice.
This sighting happened on August 1st, 1907 at Oyster Bay, Long Island. A giant orb of light is spotted over Sagamore Hill, which was home of the 26th president. The light was described as an intense white light that hung motionless at about 300 feet in altitude over Sagamore Hill. It was also described as considerably larger than a star. Good to know. Because that's what they always say. They're just it's a planet or it's a star.
Yeah.
It's not a UFO. Anyway. After 11 p.m., it began to fade.
They were trying to gaslight us. Fuckers.
Yep.
Sorry. I'm mad about it. We've been lied to.
Yeah.
We didn't.
Well, that's what started this whole thing was those 3 guys were like, there needs to be more transparency. And they're like, here, let me give you all the info.
Yeah. Look, I just feel like I'm already reeling from a gaslighting relationship. I really don't need my government to be gaslighting me right now.
They've always gaslighted us.
I know. I'm upset.
We're just finding out about it. No, we actually already knew. We knew.
I mean, we knew, but we didn't know. No.
Yeah.
We assumed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it's been confirmed.
Yeah. So this Theodore Roosevelt. Ooh, that was a hard word to say for a second. I think I wanted to say Teddy.
Yeah.
And then, like, when I didn't say Teddy, Roosevelt came out.
Hard too.
Was hard too. Anyway. So this UFO, after 11 p.m., it began to fade and then disappeared.
And this is before planes.
This is before 1907?
I think.
Yeah.
Just before planes.
Yeah, because they still have,
like, they're probably working on it as he was doing it.
I'm totally thinking about, like, Robin Williams right now on his horse. I'm like, well, they had horses, so obviously they didn't have planes.
They had horses all the time. Horses have been here for a long time.
They're still here.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we didn't, like...
Can you believe that humans literally had horses and were like, you know what we could do, though? Build cars and destroy the horses.
Yeah.
Like, why? They're just giant dogs. We could have all just had horses. You could have ridden here on a horse instead.
I would be so sore.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes,
You'd be used to riding a horse because you would never have not ridden a horse. What if you had to be like 16 to ride a horse?
But it would still be slow. Like, I couldn't go to, like, Orlando.
You could fly.
In a one day. Oh. So horses are flying?
Yeah, still fly. Still have flying and trains. But no cars. Just horses.
How would Amazon deliver?
Drones. Got you. You thought you had me there. No. We have all the same technology we have to now. No cars, just horses. I have just solved everything for the whole of humanity.
You just really hate...
We just need to get rid of all the cars and have horses.
You just really hate cars.
I don't hate cars. I just think it would be better for the environment if we had horses. Plus, also, I don't have to put gas in them. And I wouldn't have to mow my lawn. It's a win-win-win.
Okay. We'll go with your theory. Okay.
I'm going to get a horse. No, I'm not. That sounds awful. They
so
bad.
Back to Teddy.
Yes. Who rode a horse.
He rode a horse, so obviously no planes. So theorists on ancient aliens believe that this sighting was the reason Roosevelt grew our Navy from 5th place to 3rd place in size in the world.
Like, that's going to do jack shit.
Yeah. And
I bet the aliens were like, aw, that's cute. It will still wipe you out when and if we please.
Anyway. And that, I guess the aliens told Roosevelt to dredge up Pearl Harbor and make it a naval base. So maybe cars was a thing, because Pearl Harbor, I don't know, I always think about World War II Pearl Harbor. I don't know when actually.
07? Yeah, I think cars were just a thing. I want to say the Model T came out in like 02?
Okay. You know more about this than I do.
I don't say those things. Everyone always thinks I'm so smart and I just make shit up. I'm pretty sure it's 1902. I'm like 70% sure that it was cars were just coming out.
Well, we definitely know 1920s there's cars because The Great Gatsby.
Right.
I don't know. Anyway.
I want to say that the Model T came out in the 1900-somethings.
Oh, okay.
Like it was not before 1910. It was before 1910, but not before 1900. Does that make sense? It was between 1900 and 1910.
Wait. Oh, no. That's the next page. I was like, this is 1974. And I was like, no, that's the other page.
Yeah, no, you said 1907. I latched onto that because I was like, so this is not planes.
1907, yes. Okay. Ancient aliens, yeah, anyway. They believe that Roosevelt was so amazing because these aliens came to visit him and gave him these ideas. And so I personally believe that the UFOs had nothing to do with Roosevelt's success and that Roosevelt was just a smart cookie. I feel like the UFO sightings was just a coincidence, though I do believe that this is a true UFO sighting.
Yeah.
Because, yet again, planes? Question mark, maybe?
Even if there were planes at the time, nothing that would hover.
No.
There's nothing that would hover in 1907.
No, unless we came back from the future and was hovering over the plane.
Right, it's a drone. It's Amazon.
It's Amazon delivering.
Shit, this is the wrong house and time period. My bad, dog. My bad.
What if that's like a legit thing?
Dude, what if future me ordered something really cool and it got delivered here to now me?
What if, like, you could actually go back in time to deliver something? And, like, that's an option for Amazon Prime.
Right? Like, you missed me. Try again.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
Then you could, like, send
time travel will get really messy, though. I don't know. I hope it happens after I die. There's a lot of stuff that, like, would be cool to watch from afar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't actually want to deal with any of that. It's kind of like buying new tarot decks. That's going to confuse me.
Oh my gosh. No, what would happen is I would send a letter to my past self and say, hey, don't fuck up high school. It's cool. And I'd be like, my mom fucking wrote this and send it back to me.
Right?
This isn't me.
I wouldn't believe me.
I wouldn't believe
If I showed up to me in high school, I would not believe me. I would be like, no, I probably would believe me. Because my grandmother would be there. And she'd be like, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would say. I mean, wouldn't I remember it? I don't remember seeing future me.
Nope. We have not. So obviously, well, I guess the technology would still show up around this time.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, what if there's like a cap? Like you can't go back to before. Well, obviously they do. I don't know. We're getting way too far into this. Sorry. Look at this station full of trains that we have here.
This is what happens when you smoke. Anyway, next person, Dwight D. Eisenhower.
A lot of presidents. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
When
I probably shouldn't have asked that. But
when
yes,
when the Minister of Magic goes and meets with the Prime Minister and
yes.
talks about Voldemort.
And they all know about wizards.
It's Harry Potter. Bitch! I'm so excited. We're getting Hogwarts letters.
Okay, got it.
So also though that would be so great because then we don't have to associate it with J.K. Rowling because this is real.
Yeah.
And we don't have to worry about that whole mess with her and her drama.
It is drama. Anyway, Eisenhower.
Yes.
Not J.K. Rowling.
No.
So, this situation happened in Palm Springs, California on February 20th, 1954. So, cars did exist.
Yes.
And
planes.
Yeah. So, Eisenhower was in Palm Springs for golfing vacation and fails to show up to a public dinner. And the press is baffled at where he could be. Then the next day, he just shows back up, and his staff says that Eisenhower had an emergency dental appointment. However, there is no evidence in his medical records that this procedure had happened.
Oh my gosh.
So,
he was abducted by aliens, and they were scrambling around. Oh my god. Okay, go ahead.
So,
I want to know.
Michael Sala, because I thought it said Michelle at first, but Michael, a formal, he's very formal.
Yeah,
he has
really uptight, Michael.
Bow tie.
Speaking of bow ties,
smoking jacket.
Off subject, but did you get the Pee Wee Herman song today?
No.
Yeah.
Wasn't he like really bad?
No. I mean, yeah. But no, he was Pee Wee Herman. Uh-huh.
I guess the only thing that he got in trouble for was masturbating in a porn theater or something, right?
Yeah.
So okay.
I don't even know. I never heard about any of that. I just knew that Pee Wee Herman died.
I think that was the story.
And his show was weird as fuck.
Yeah. But definitely a pop icon.
Yeah, but he died. Speaking of bow ties. Sorry,
okay.
Back to you.
That's fine. Why were we talking about bow ties?
Because Michelle.
Oh, formal.
Very formal.
Yeah.
But he's actually a former or something.
Yeah, he's very formal. So, Michael Sala, a former American University professor who now runs the Peace Ambassador program at UA's Center for Global Peace, believes that President Eisenhower went to Edwards Air Force Base where he, turn the page, suspense, met with two ETs I loved how it said ETs.
Extraterrestrial.
Yeah, two aliens with white hair, pale blue eyes, and colorless lips. That was very specific for a
They could have
theory.
been albino people, rude.
They could have been albino people.
Gosh.
So, anyway, the aliens wanted President Eisenhower to give up our nukes, and in return they would share their technology. And then Eisenhower declined. This is the theory.
Thanks a lot, Eisenhower. We could have had cool technology in the 50s.
Yeah.
But instead you just wanted to keep oppressing women.
And nukes. Destroy our world. Anyway, but I mean, and I could kind of understand because I think that was like a bad time in America. They were probably like, no, we need to hold on.
Well, it was the Cold War.
It was during the Cold War?
Yeah,
okay.
so like absolutely fucking not. You're not coming in here and taking my nukes. That's what he was thinking.
Yeah,
I
probably.
understand. I don't like it, but I understand.
Of course, he could have been like, these are just people, this is my staff. They're pulling my leg.
He probably thought they were Russians.
Yeah, exactly.
Weird Russian albinos.
So, yeah, Russian albinos. Okay, so, part of this theory also is in 1954, Eisenhower then made a deal with aliens called the Greys, which is like the gray ones with the big black eyes, weird long fingers, like Denah. The Greys, which allows them to capture cattle and humans for medical experiences, provided that they are returned home safely. So what? So yeah, basically he gave them the green light for us to be abducted.
Cool.
And there was no indication in this story that Eisenhower received anything during this agreement. So maybe the agreement was, hey, you let us, abduct people and we won't invade the world.
I think that was probably the agreement.
I have no idea. He should have took the first one.
Yeah.
Alien technology, we give up our nukes.
Yeah.
Anyway. So I don't know how I feel about this theory. It's definitely something I would keep in mind as I continue investigating UFOs. Because, the way my brain is working is all those times that, pilots are like, hey, there's something, and nothing happens. It's because the president was like, oh, we had an agreement with the aliens. Yeah. So we're just not going to talk about it.
You know what I find really endearing?
Especially with this whole non-human biologics.
Yeah, that's what I find really endearing. Whatever these non-human biologics are, they have access to this phenomenal technology. But not only are they so advanced in technology, they're so advanced in social structures and whatnot, and empathy, that they haven't taken us over.
True.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I can follow that line.
They totally could. And we know they exist.
Yeah.
And they definitely could take us over. And so it's it's really sweet of them to not have. Unless they have, and it's just more gaslighting.
Yeah, it could be gaslighting. So. Could be our... Though there was, a girl on Ancient Aliens, and she looked like she could totally be a lizard person. I was like... Philip was like, she looks weird. I was like, she looks like a lizard person.
I think it's just fair. I can't wait to see what happens with that.
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued. And I'm also terrified. And also excited.
Yeah. Well, we're probably not going to find anything out for another 50 years, to be honest.
I'm not, super terrified because, again, if it was going to happen, I feel like it would have happened.
Yeah.
They've been talking to these aliens since the 30s, they say.
Yeah.
If not before.
Yeah.
If not back in Washington's day. If not back in ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. Go ahead.
I was just seeing how far along I was, and then I realized I did not number my pages. But I finished them, so yay! Okay, so I do believe that there are aliens out there, yes. And that if, there was aliens out there, that we would set up a treaty, We
must have.
Yeah, a treaty will... This is what my notes say. A treaty will need to be established, and that might have happened on February 20th, 1954.
That's why the other governments aren't talking about it. Because George Washington back in the day was like, yeah, y'all can come to America whenever you want. That's fine.
Or Eisenhower.
And then Eisenhower later was like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
They were just renewing.
I wonder if they just keep, the ancient Egyptians were probably like, yeah, come help us build these pyramids. That'd be sick, bro.
Yeah.
And then, the next pharaoh was like, nah, dog. You got to go.
Yeah. So, it could have been a treaty was signed or whatever, and that's why he was gone. Or... he could have went to go see his mistress, and he didn't want the press.
That's totally...
I was like, that could be totally a thing. He was like, we're keeping this hush-hush. But bad timing. You had to press, a public dinner. That's enough time to go get some nookie. When the press is all there. Anyway, and probably Secret Service was, scattering around.
Oh,
holy shit.
Unless they knew where he was.
Well, they might have known where he was, and just... They're like, what are you going to do? Tell the president, be like, sir, you need to get off her. We need to go back to the public dinner.
Yeah, I feel like if I was the president, I wouldn't do that. I would, but also, the aliens couldn't wait an hour.
Yeah,
so they could go eat.
Yeah.
They're so cool that they're not invading us and all this and that, but they can't wait an hour.
Yeah.
For him to, go to his dinner and be like, hey, I'm sorry, can I meet you at 9?
Yeah, couldn't reschedule that.
This thing.
That at the same time, if you... got a note from people saying, hey, aliens want to talk to you. Are you really going to be like, nah, that can wait an hour?
Well,
you're going to be like, what the fuck?
I wonder, see, I want to become president, but I also don't. I feel like that's
a lot of responsibility.
To become president is just to find out if aliens exist.
Well, actually, I was hearing that not all presidents find out about these aliens.
See, that's what I'm thinking too.
A lot of the Democrat presidents probably didn't get told because they don't have military background.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah.
And they weren't a threat.
Next one.
The Democrats aren't a threat to the aliens.
We're running out of time.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We need to get going.
Oh, shit. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, you also have to get going.
Okay.
I'm keeping an eye on time. Yeah. Okay, so, Ronald Reagan. On September 19th, 1974, Governor of California, Ronald Reagan, boarded a plane in McCreed, California.
Mm-hmm.
As they neared Bakersfield, California, not Baker, Governor Reagan saw an orb of light flying with the plane. The light then elongated, yes, and shot up into the sky. When Reagan got off the plane, he proclaimed that he saw a UFO. He was telling everyone. So the experience started Reagan's fascination with aliens. However, Reagan's cabinet was able to kind of squash his alien talk when it came to like press and talking about it in public, because obviously that would be political suicide.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Was it his cabinet or was it the aliens who were like, shh?
I think it was the cabinet. Because I even think like some cabinet members, like after everything happened, they were just like, yeah, that was really hard. However, in 1987, President Ronald Reagan addressed the United Nations United Assembly in New York. And this is his speech, or at least part of his speech. I'm not going to do the whole thing.
What?
Okay, so in his speech, he said, "Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bond. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force among us already?
What?
What could be more alien to the universal aspiration of peoples than war and the threat of war?" So he legit was like, I really wish UFOs would come down here so that we could solidify our countries.
Yeah.
And then also being like, or is there aliens already here?
Is that why we're at war? Is that what's going on in Russia and Ukraine?
Maybe.
Hot damn.
But yeah.
I feel like they're like, oh, we've had a whistleblower who's answered so many questions. And I'm like, but they left me with 10 new questions.
Always.
For every one question.
So, Ronald Reagan started the Strategic Defense Initiative, also known as the Star Wars Project.
Nice.
I heard this and I was laying in bed with Philip and I looked at him and I was like, is that true? Like, was this before Star Wars or after Star Wars? And it was after Star Wars that he did this.
Hilarious.
And I'm just like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. Our president literally was like, Star Wars, we're doing it. So I don't think it's any different than Space Force.
Yeah.
I feel like that's interesting. Wait. Yeah. Okay. So the Star Wars project was a proposed missile defense system intended to protect the United States from attacks by ballistic, strategic, nuclear weapons. That was really hard to say. However, theorists believe that Reagan didn't only create this project to protect America from foreign threats, but also from threats from outer space.
Dun, dun, dun.
He had the big picture.
Yeah.
So, I have a couple honorable mentions. Thomas Jefferson did not see a UFO. However, his good friend William Dunbar, who was an amateur astronomer, there was one of those in our last episodes too. Mm-hmm. They're everywhere. He saw a UFO in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on April 5th, 1800. So we're going way back before cars. Thomas Jefferson then wrote about his friend's experience in the 6th volume of Transactions of the American Philosophical Society. That I don't know why I get that word in there, because it's the title of the newspaper. It was the American Philosophical Society's newsletter. My bad, not newspaper. And then October 31st, 2007, during the Democrat presidential debate, presidential candidate Dennis Knish said that he saw a UFO, as in an unidentified flying object, while at the home of actress Shirley MacLaine.
What was he doing there?
Yeah, some speculate that it was this comment that lost him the presidential nomination.
Well, that's ironic. I bet he's mad now, too.
Yeah.
He's probably like, rude.
Well, I mean, he did lose to Obama.
Oh, yeah.
So.
That's fair.
It's fair. So, yeah, that's my stuff. That's wrapping it up.
Nice.
with a big bow or a bow tie.
Well, thank you for joining us. We drop a new episode every Monday. So hit the dispensary or your plug and meet us back here next week for more true crime, paranormal, metaphysical, and new age shit. In the meantime, check out our Instagram, the Spooky Stonerzzz podcast. That is Stonerzzz with 3 Z's. If you would like to contact us about your personal true crime or paranormal story, or if there is a subject you would like us to cover, you can email us at the Spooky Stonerzzz podcast at gmail.com. Again, that is Stonerzzz with 3 Z's.
Yes, we did it!
You have to read what I wrote on paper.
Peace out!
Yes!